Welcome to Two Wheels, and on this week's show there's more chat from those colourful characters from America, the Star Boys, as they tell us about their favourite two-wheel tricks. Also there's more high-powered action from this year's SpeedFreaks Ball at Santa Pod, and of course we'll be catching up with our riders on day 3 of their Moroccan tour as they encounter some of the largest sand dunes that they're likely to see during their week in the desert. But first, here's Jeff with some more advice for those of you thinking of organising a motorcycle tour.
So you're thinking of planning a big trip or perhaps doing a little bit of touring? Well, first of all, you've got to look at the big picture. And what I mean by that is you need to get a view of where you're actually going. So have yourself a damn good look at a map. This one, of course, is too big to carry on a bike. But I'll tell you what these are good for, these ring-bound ones. They're cheap to get because you can get them often in sales for only £1 instead of their list price of about £5. But just rip the pages out. They're so cheap and you don't have to bother with buying separate maps then. Open this at London, already had that one out. So take it out, then you can just fold it up and put it in your tank bag like this one I've already got in there. You just put it under that little clear window in there, slide it up, and there you've got a map of where you're going. But something else, what you need on a bike, you can't have a map on the side of the seat or with your partner or whatever. So there's your section of map, but I also make out a little route card for myself. This is one I did earlier, in fact a couple of years ago, going down through France. Just do a complete list like this, stick 2 pieces of paper together or even 3 and plan the whole route through, and then you can just have a section at a time. I put the main places on it, the road number through there, and actually the mileage in between. And it's quite nice because you can plan ahead, and when you've stopped for petrol, you think, feeling a bit peckish, when shall I stop? Oh, it's only another 50 miles to there, that's where you'll stop. So it's a good tip. And all you need to do, again, open the old tank bag, essential, stick that under there, over the top of your map, and you've got a quick glance. So when you come to a T-junction or whatever in a busy town, you've got a signpost there. You don't have to study the map, just look down here, right, that's where I'm going. If you do get stuck, obviously you've only got to put your hand in there, take that out and see exactly where you are. But some good tips there for touring and planning your route.
When you go into your motorcycle dealer and choose your helmet, more often than not, you take no consideration about how it's made, its construction and its qualities. You really look at the likes of it matching your gloves and your kit, such as this. Well, that's not the most important thing. Fit is very, very important, and its construction. Take this helmet for example, the Shark RSR. This is constructed by using all these high-tech materials and different resins to construct the outer shell. But also, more importantly, is the thing on the inside, such as this. Now this is a unique construction that is fitted inside this lid. And what it is, it's got, if you wish, for want of a better term, crumple zones. At the side here, this flexes, and you can see these grooves down here. And the idea is, if you should have a bit of misfortune, your head hits the ground, or your helmet does, your head wants to follow through. It wants to continue its movement. And this will slow that movement down rapidly, and it'll obviously ease the headache and ease the damage to your brain cells. So it's worth considering the overall construction. Seek some advice I should say, from your dealer. This particular helmet is £390 worth, and you can get it in various different colourways. This particular one, the Barris replica, is also done in the fancy green as well.
Time now to rejoin our riders on day 3 of their spectacular journey across the Moroccan desert. And for those of you that would like a reminder of just how demanding such a journey is, perhaps we'll take a quick look at where the riders have been so far. Day 1 saw them leave Ouarzazate for a 180km journey to Tinagir, and then on day 2, some 270km saw them arrive at the town of Erfoud. Day 3 is a relatively short journey, only some 90 k's, but over some of the most difficult terrain.
third day, we normally leave every day at the same time, about 10 o'clock, 9, 10 o'clock. We go to Mazuga, or Erg Chebi, which are the famous dunes in Morocco. There are some dunes there, about, I guess it must be about 1,000 feet high. We'll go there to an auberge, drop off our backpacks, basically just carry water with us. We'll make our way up to the highest dune.
It's a well-known fact that sand, particularly loose sand, is probably the most difficult surface to ride a motorcycle on, but there are one or two adjustments that you can make to the machine that might just help ease your progress.
The fronts go down very quickly, so take care. And do not forget to put the valve cap back on, otherwise they fill with sand. While you're letting it down, make sure you're feeling it all the time.
Yeah, this is a brilliant terrain, especially when you've got the tire pressures down. You have so much grip on this sand, you can't believe it. It's incredible.
You will really notice the difference now in the dunes with half a bar instead of 2.5. You're getting so much grip.
So how exactly does one ride up a sand dune?
You see the dune over there to the right? That's the highest dune. Okay, and we're going up that. We can't get up this face, we have to go around the back, we go up the back. When you're at the top, you're looking down like that. You think never, we're never going down there. For the first about 10 meters, 20 meters, unless you're gassing it, it won't go, it just digs in. So you have to gas it, but after those 20, 30 meters, it gets hard and the bike starts running away from you. So if you put on your front brake, it will stop instantly.
But surely that's a good thing. Just how instant does he mean?
It'll stop you from 100 k's an hour in a foot, okay? Because it just digs right in. It'll dig right in up to the mudguard and it will rocket you over the bars. When you're coming down that, if you have a look at it, you can see 3 little black dots on the side of the dune. That's camel grass. If the dune's been blowing from right to left, there will be a ridge to the left. If you go over that ridge and you're at an angle like that, you'll get such a big kicker, it'll kick the bike over.
Sounds pretty frightening to me. What if we don't make it? What would our guys like to come back as?
The camel, because I love the desert. I want to be here. But just tie me up and don't have me carrying things.
I've always said a seagull, I think.
Seagull, right? There you go, we've got a camel and a seagull so far.
A dune and a dune driver.
As a motorcycle rider in Sahara.
An XR 400, of course. Getting punished.
Well, that's where we'll leave our riders for now, but we'll catch up with them still on day 3 on Two Wheels next week. That's all for part 1, but still to come after the break, some lively chat from the Star Boys and some high-powered action from Santa Pod. Welcome back to Two Wheels. Still to come on this week's show, more chat from the Star Boys, where we'll see that things don't always go quite according to plan. But first, here's some more action from this year's SpeedFreaks Ball at Santa Pod. Now these lot are top fuel bikes. What does that mean? What's a top fuel bike? Well, a top fuel bike typically is around about 1300, 1500cc motor, very often based around a Yamaha engine, but some of them are twins and not always 4 cylinders. They're supercharged, they don't run on unleaded, they run on nitromethane fuel, which is why you can smell it in the air when you come to a place like this. They kick out about 1,000 brake horsepower, and typically they'll be doing runs on the quarter mile here of high 6s, low 7s, that's 6.8 seconds, 7 seconds, 7.1 seconds, thereabouts. That's from a standing start over a quarter of a mile, and a terminal speed in excess, very often, of 200 miles an hour, sometimes up as far as 220. Absolutely awesome. Now this is typical of the sort of bikes we've seen lots of today going up and down the strip here. Suzuki Hayabusa. It's a standard Hayabusa. There's no engine work been done on it or anything like that. The guy's just brought it along, a lad called Gary, and he's just up and down the track. All he has done to it is he's altered the rear suspension linkage, so it's dropped the bike down at the back, but it's running a standard swing arm, so a lot of the bikes you'll see have got big chunks welded on them to extend the swing arm to stop them wheeling. He's not done that, and he says it works well. Let a bit of air out of his back tyre as well. What he has done to try and keep the front end down as he takes off is he's got this strap arrangement on the front here. A lot of the bikes you'll see, well not a lot, but some of the bikes you'll see with huge big weights strapped to the forks there, big dumbbells on the bottom of the forks, supposedly to keep the front end down as they're taking off on the drag strip. Gary hasn't done that because what that does is it adds weight to the bike, so it slows it down in effect. He just put a cable strap right across the top like a big luggage strap, and it's compressed the forks, it's pulled the forks together, which means when he takes off, the forks don't unload like they would do normally. So in theory, it will stop the bike wheeling. It means it's got to pick all that weight up at once. He's run a 10.25 today, which is pretty impressive for a Hayabusa, so obviously it's working. Now, as well as all the stuff whizzing up and down the strip all weekend here at Santa Pod, there are prizes to be won, and here in this marquee they are vying for things like best street fighter, best paint job, best chopper, best custom, best this, that and the other. And here in this tent there's a fantastic display of some of the best machinery I've seen in a long time over there. A row of beautiful trikes, some lovely street fighters over there, but one over here that's caught my eye. It is, I think, the most beautiful MV Augusta I've ever seen. Come and have a look at this. Now this is what I call a special looking bike. It's a beautiful work of art, really. It is a work of art. It says on the spec sheet down here that in all this thing has had 36 coats of paint and lacquer. Can you imagine that? Probably about 2 inches wide now with all that paint and lacquer. It's had 350 hours of paint work on it, and it says also that it's in daily use, and it actually has covered 2,500 miles, but I'll bet not very many of them 2,500 horrible, wet, soggy, damp motorway miles. But it is a beautiful thing, isn't it? Now this is the media tower here at Santa Pod, and this is the busiest it's been all day. It's packed up here. We're fighting for spaces here on the railings because we're all waiting for a car. Yes, a car. No, I know it's not a bike, but it's a car. But it's seriously impressive, this car, because it's jet powered. It's called Vanishing Point, and it's reckoned to be truly awesome. It should be here in about 5 minutes. In fact, I'll go and see if they're nearly ready. Well, as you can see, it's nearly ready. It's here now on the start line, just going through a few preliminary checks before they fire it up. Now, I said it was a jet-powered car. It's not jet-powered, it gets better. It's rocket-powered. That is a rocket there. He's sat on a rocket, this man. He's mad. It runs on hydrogen peroxide fuel. This car holds the world record for the standing quarter of a mile. From a standing start, quarter of a mile, 3.58 seconds. Yeah, 3.58 seconds with a terminal speed of 396 miles an hour, which is quite incredible. And here's another interesting fact for you. A Formula 1 driver in a race situation will experience 3 or 4 Gs on the body. A jet fighter pilot flying a high-speed jet fighter plane could experience up to 9 Gs. A spare thought for the man who's going to be, I was going to say driving, I think the word is flying, this thing, Vanishing Point. Sammy Miller is an American guy. On a good run, he could feel a force of 14 Gs on his body. Quite amazing. I'd rather him than me. 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, I'm sure you'll agree this SpeedFreaks Ball has truly lived up to its name. Some incredible stuff here this weekend, particularly that car, that Vanishing Point, rocket-powered car. That was awesome, I have to say. The bikes have been pretty good as well. We've had funny bikes, top fuel bikes, all sorts of different bikes. And of course this lot, we've had road bikes. Lads come here, lads and girls, turn up on their road bike. It's a run what you brung. So what they do is they pay an entrance fee to come into the event, 15 quid a day. On top of that, they pay an extra £5. That £5 entitles them to go up and down the drag strip all day long. One run, off the end, come round, join the queue, do it again. So if you've got an argument with your mate and you can't decide who's the fastest bike is, don't go and do it on the M1 because you'll finish up getting put in jail. Come to somewhere like this, come to a run what you brung, pay a £5 and have a race down the track. Your times will come up there, it's all electronic, it's all timed perfectly and there's no arguments. And more importantly, you'll go home with your licence still in your pocket. Here's a bunch of riders enjoying a day out trail biking in the Lake District, riding machines made by Blackburn-based company CCM, who have now become well established in the world of supermoto. In fact, they now run supermoto track days at Three Sisters in Wigan, where you can ride their bikes and have an awful lot of fun. They are very, very impressive, aren't they? Extremely impressive. This is Joe Fraser. Joe, let me ask you first of all what you think of these bikes. You've never been on these before.
Never. They're great. They're awesome. It's almost like you got a dirt bike but a lot more power.
Yeah.
And you're on the streets and they don't slide out on you. It's totally different.
Yeah. Because I know when you saw them getting them off the back of the trailer, you were sort of looking at them thinking, what the hell's these? Right. Like, and it took you 5 minutes, didn't it? But after that, no problem. Bit different to a 5-lane though.
Oh, very different.
Yeah.
A lot lighter, easier to control, you know?
Yeah.
As you can see by my first stop, it was a lot easier to control than
yeah, good stop it. That's what the broken throttle came on. It's all right, that'll fix. You know, watching you guys here, it seems to me that that Kevin Marino, he's into his super fast rolling stoppies. Do you have a sort of thing that you specialise in, each one of you?
Actually, no. We all, if there's a new trick out there, we try to learn it, you know, master it ourselves, just as long as we have it under our belt. But I guess, yeah, Kevin, you could say, is actually into the stop. He's rolling real far. Yeah. And Scott, on the other hand, he's in the 12 o'clock wheelies where he takes it back and scrapes it.
That's right.
He's the master. Yeah, he's probably one of the best in the, you know.
How does he get his legs down the front like that?
He's got a machine in the home where he exercises and stretches them out. Because I can't sit in normal.
There's something wrong with him, yeah. Right. You seem to be into the burnouts, Joe.
Yeah, I enjoy the donuts. That's like one of the first things I specialized in, so I actually enjoy doing them.
Feet up donuts. Right, when it comes to learning tricks, Joe, do you sort of, obviously you don't want to copy everyone, but there's only so many wheelies, stoppies and burnouts you can do, so is it difficult to find something new all the time?
No, actually we go to tracks and we compete against each other with new things we can come up with, but if there's something new out there, we try to master it. But we came out with the first video, which we probably had 12 new moves that we invented, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, definitely we try new moves once a week or anything we can come up with.
What do you think's the hardest thing to do, Joe, on a bike?
The hardest one to actually come up with would be the 12 o'clock wheelie. Yeah. We actually let the bike flip over, and then you give it the back brake and it brings you back forward. That's probably one, because you know your instinct doesn't, you don't want to let it go backwards, and you have to. So that's probably one of the hardest ones, for sure, for me, definitely.
These lads aren't enjoying the weather here in Wigan today, but I'm sure you're enjoying the bike, Scott. What do you think of these CCMs?
They're amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah, they truly are. They're light, they balance nice, they have great power. They're probably one of the funnest things I've ever ridden.
Have you ridden anything like this before?
No.
You don't have supermoto, really?
Well, no, not supermoto. I got a dirt bike at home, like a CR250, but that's for the dirt, you know. These are a lot more fun because of braking power and stuff. You can pull around on the cement opposed to the dirt, even though I almost went off the track on the dirt over there.
Yeah, but you didn't though, you didn't fall off. You kept your breath. You've been on these, the track bikes mainly, but you've just had to go on the R30, which is the supermoto road bike. You can go and buy that. Is it any different?
Yeah, it's a lot nicer. These things are like set up for race. They don't idle very well. They're made to go all out.
Yeah.
The street model has got a lot more torque. and it's just a lot smoother. Idle's better, and it's just a lot smoother when you're actually riding a wheelie.
Right.
So
let me ask you about some of the stunts you do. You seem to specialise in the big vertical wheelies. Is that your thing?
I like. It depends on what week it is. it honestly, it's just like whatever. It's like the flavor of the month, you know.
Right.
Sometimes you know, we get into the vertical wheelies, and I like, now we're starting to do like multiple tricks within one wheelie. You know, you'll see us hop from the pegs to the seat, or from the tank down to the seat, onto, you know, standing on the seat. So, and then once in a while we'll get into like a stoppie craze where we just start nailing big stoppies and stuff. So, yeah, it depends. So we kind of run, when we get on a new bike like that, we just kind of run through all of them, see what it's good for.
Your trademark, Scott, must be the kicking the heels over the bar.
Yeah. I think everybody's kind of related that to me, because there's not too many people that can do it. So
there's not too many people that can get the legs in that position.
Right. Everybody thinks I got like these special machines at home to get my legs like that.
Yeah,
but
Kevin says you've got a machine that pulls your legs apart.
He's full of crap. He just can't do it, so he's coming up with excuses.
That's all from Two Wheels for this week, but on next week's show we'll be waving goodbye to the Starboys as they leave the UK and head off back to America. And we'll have the concluding part of day 3 of the Moroccan tour as our riders set off for a blast across the dunes against the stunning backdrop of a Moroccan sunset. And we'll meet seasoned motorcycle journalist Chris Moss, a man known for his antics on powerful sports bikes. He'll give us his considered opinion on the current scooter market.